Hi, everybody, and welcome to our first official group discussion. My name is Travis Atkins, and I thank you for joining me. Didn't have a choice, but appreciate it anyway. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Chapter 3, and they title it Team Communications and Difficult Conversations. I would more likely say it's about effective communication in the workplace. Is kind of how I describe it. If we think about the fact that a team can either be a couple individuals like ourselves put together in a group to accomplish a common goal or task, or if you look at the fact that anyone working for the same company could be described as being a team. So all the principles that they talk about will be effective either way you look at it. This is my second attempt making this video because the first one I was at 3 minutes before I even really touched the surface on half this stuff. So I'm going to try to condense it down the best I can. And the overall thing I really have to say about Chapter 3 and the message of Chapter 3 is that it's about security and structure. And what I mean is that it really harps on the idea that each member of your team needs to feel secure enough to voice their opinion, even if it's a dissenting opinion, to share their ideas, to try to develop new ideas and think creatively. And it really stresses the idea that people are more creative on their own. So you want to give them that space and that time to really create solutions or ideas on their own. But then once that's done, you want to bring everyone together to kind of bounce those ideas off each other. And that's really how you get the best outcome and the best ideas. It talks about how building a team takes time. There's 4 main stages: the forming, storming, norming, and performing stages. And the forming stage is basically everybody's kind of thrown together, comes together, the thing begins, and it's really spent just kind of trying to gain acceptance. Everybody's pretty polite, everybody's kind of sometimes gung-ho even about, yeah, let's do this. In the storming stage, people start to open up about their own ideas and their own, if they have a problem with someone else's idea, that they're more likely to voice that during the storming stage than in the beginning. During the norming stage, everyone kind of settles into an agreement or settles into a basic understanding of, okay, here's what we all want, here's how we're going to go about it, here's what role each person is going to have. And then that kind of flows into the performing stage. I found this part really interesting because my wife happens to be the general manager of our local Pizza Hut, and she has a team of people that are mostly very young. Most of them, this was their first job. And so it's kind of been a challenge to try to get them to always, number one, work as a team, and number two, accomplish the goals. So I actually took a photo of this stages of development slide here in our text, and I sent it to her. And I said, "Look, hon, effective teams usually take 6 to 7 months to develop." So I just thought that was really interesting. Now, going back to the security part I mentioned, psychological safety is a big one. It says one study says the most important predictor of team success is psychological safety. So again, if all team members feel that they're free to, discuss how they feel about things and throw their ideas out there, then that team's a lot more likely to succeed. Keeping in mind at all times that we all have our own diversity, and I know. That term is thrown around so often now, sometimes negatively, sometimes positively, but diversity it's everywhere. The term, the idea, but there really is a truth to the fact that we all have our own experiences, we all have our own backgrounds and beliefs, but if we're allowed to use that as a tool, then it can be really beneficial to the team or to the goal. There's inherent diversity, which is the stuff we kind of tend to hear about more often than not. That's your age and your gender and ethnicity and sexual orientation and all that stuff. But there's also acquired diversity, and all that's really saying is that each of us has our own work experience, our own skills that we can bring to the table. So if you're not looking to that diversity to use it as a tool, then you're really missing out. I myself have had a lot of different jobs in my 46 years on this earth. I've done everything from paralegal to I worked in a grain elevator, security work. You name it. I've been a chef, all kinds of stuff. So you never know what someone can bring to the table unless you give them a chance to, kind of use those skills and show what they can do. Going through some of this, trying to go a little quicker. I know I'm already at almost 7 minutes here, so forgive me. I'll move into the structure part of it. Basically, what it's saying is that when you hold meetings, you want to, beforehand, you want to structure those meetings out. You want to keep everything on track. So you want to already develop what you're going to talk about, who all is going to be, pretty much the who, what, when, where, why. Who is going to be involved in the meeting, what you're going to talk about, what is each person's role in the meeting going to be, obviously when the meeting is going to be, where the meeting is going to be. The why is kind of sort of the what as well. Why are we having this meeting? Is it, what type of meeting is it? Is it a brainstorming, hey, we need to come up with an idea for how to do such and such? Or is it a problem solving, hey, we got this issue and we need to figure out how to fix it? If you cover the who, what, when, where, why, and I guess the how, then that'll help keep your meeting on track a lot better. I think all of us have probably been in a meeting before that I guess was held for one purpose and ended up being something else. In the Army, pardon the term, but in the Army we call them bitch sessions, which basically means everybody sat around and griped about what they were upset about, and no resolution was ever found, nothing was ever fixed. It was just like an airing of the grievances, so to speak. Kind of going through a little bit more of my notes here. And the last thing I'll close out with is where it talks about the difficult conversations. They're going to be inevitable in team projects and team situations. And we all have our opinions and we're all right? So it talks about how there's ways that you can kind of minimize the damage from those difficult conversations. You can make them easier. You can make them productive. You want to start well and declare your intent with the conversation, straight from the beginning. Hey, Sue, I want to talk to you because we're having a problem with such and such, and I hope maybe we can figure this out. Listen to their story, listen to their side of things, get their ideas on what was causing the problem or what they believe the issue is. Then you can tell your side of, okay, well, I understand that, and I was thinking that it might be blah, blah, blah. And then you guys, it says, create a shared story where you come to a conclusion together of, okay, well, we're on common ground. We kind of understand each other. Here's how we'll move forward. And I think with that, I'll probably end my discussion right here about the 10-minute mark. So sorry for keeping you so long. I look forward to seeing the answers to the questions that I post here. Thanks.